Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany
and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows
like Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill, and more. Hi everyone, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Cynthia.
And today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 2, titled Things I Forgot at Birth, aired October 4th, 2006, and the synopsis is:
As Nathan, Rachel, and Cooper's lives remain fragile following the car accident, Brooke celebrates her 18th birthday, but finds it diminished by her struggles with Peyton. Lucas and Karen come to terms with her pregnancy and with the pregnancy of someone close to Lucas, while Deb's past addictions intersect with Haley in an explosive manner.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why did, the first minute or two have to be flashbacks? Again.
I guess just because they're showing that Nathan's still struggling with...
But also, it was the whole "marry me, Haley," and all of this, and Dan talk, the whole "you're not my brother," just everything we just saw. And again, we're only the second episode in to the new season.
Mm-hmm.
We should only be reliving, showing flashback of last week's episode, not last season.
Right.
That should have been a season 4 opening, which was everything, which I thought they did in season 4 opening. I thought they rehashed all of season 3.
Right.
So it's weird that in episode 2, we're going to do the same thing again. Stop this.
I mean, yeah, the only thing that they added was that when Cooper's eyes opened and looked at Nathan, he said they're both dead.
No, but I'm saying in the previously on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's it was a whole minute or two of more of everything that's happened. But guess what? We've already done this last episode.
Well,
and it's only 2 episodes in. It's not like we're 10 episodes in where we have to remember what happened in season 4. Right. We're just starting season 4.
Well, were these recaps even a thing back then, or did they make these when they put it to streaming or DVD? That's what I'm wondering. Because maybe that's why it seems weird sometimes when we see things again, because it wasn't originally like that, maybe. So maybe there was no recap and it just went straight to this first scene.
I think it might have been on, because I remember watching TV shows back then, and they would be previously on, and it's okay. And a lot of times you're okay, but a lot of times they'd only throw a couple scenes in. It wasn't 10, 20 scenes. It was, just to, pick up where you left off sort of thing. Usually shows would only do it if it was a continuation kind of thing, so that you would remember where they left off.
Yeah.
But here, it just seems every episode is previously on, and I just don't need to see it. We just saw it.
Right.
And we just saw all this last episode sort of thing. I don't, we all know Nathan and Haley are married. How many times? They've been married since the end of season 1. Get it together.
Right.
And, we know Dan is having problems, with Keith's death and everything. We know. We didn't have to keep going back to it.
Yeah.
That's where I was coming from. I'm really? Episode 2 of the season?
Yeah. So Nathan wakes up from that dream that he was having with the flashback of the accident.
Why is he on the bridge?
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, nobody, pulled over that was driving or saw
Isn't
him.
it still blocked off?
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe if they saw him, from down the street wherever it comes off of, or, a police officer find him, laying over there.
I don't think the police go over there.
Well, if they would see somebody laying on the bridge when it's blocked off, maybe.
Well, it's blocked off. They don't think anybody's over there.
Yeah, but if they... we don't know the road it's going off of, so they could drive by that road and look down that way and see somebody. So.
I feel Tree Hill doesn't have the best police officer.
Yeah.
So I feel the police officers would ignore a person.
Well, my thing is, I'm surprised with how close he is. He doesn't, roll off the edge of it when he's sleeping.
I know, aren't
because that could be a thing, too.
Aren't rails supposed to be... taller, but it seems when he gets up, he just barely leans on it, and it's he could go overboard. I'm
yeah, because I think he does this twice at least, and
he sleeps there,
or at least standing there, or just being there. But I was seeing if I think they did make wooden rails to kind of be a little substitute until they make the real thing, rebuild it. So that could possibly stop him from going over, but if that was there here, but if not, then it'd just be that open space and he could just roll right off and be in the water again. So
I just don't know why he's sleeping there.
yeah.
I'm like, why?
He's just trying to figure out what's going on in his head.
Why is he sleeping there?
Because sometimes being in a location helps to
sleep
go
there?
back to that time.
To physically sleep there.
If he can't sleep at home, then yeah, if he's sleeping here, it might be the only sleep he's getting. So at least it's something. I'm just worried about him rolling off the bridge, like I said.
I'm like, and then you got bugs and everything.
Yeah, I was thinking the weather, like if it rains.
I was thinking of like ants and stuff, like, ew. The fact that you're just sleeping on the ground of the bridge.
Yeah, like I would use like a hoodie or something to like lay on or something.
Yeah. I mean, if he was going there, he should have had something, I feel like. Especially if he felt he would be there a while.
Yeah.
Which I feel like he did think that because he doesn't want to go home. So I guess the other alternative is that. Plus, okay, you know what I just thought of? This isn't any break, right? For like Thanksgiving, Christmas for them. How does he have time? How did him and Haley have time to go to London for a honeymoon? They're not in college. This isn't their summer vacation. They're gonna miss like a week of school to go to London.
Maybe it was only supposed to be like a weekend or like even a day.
To go to London?
You know, if they can afford to go to London, they can afford to maybe go to like a couple of days.
But don't you think the plane ride there and back is? I feel like to go to London, the plane ride is gonna be out. Like for us to go to Hawaii, maybe is like 8 hours. So could you imagine going to London? And they're in North Carolina. They're way down there. So you want them to go to London?
Yeah, maybe it's just like a day trip or something.
A day trip? Your day is going to be there and back.
Yeah, I don't know.
No sightseeing.
Yeah, I don't know how they plan that, yeah.
Also, too, he's playing basketball for college.
Yeah.
Like, to try to get into college. You wouldn't be leaving school. Like, you wouldn't be taking any time off because you have practice. You have games. So you wouldn't be leaving the week to go because what if a scout shows up and you ain't there? Like, that's real small. So I'm just like, for this storyline for Nathan and basketball, it doesn't make sense that he's going to go to London. Even for a couple days. Because he would miss practice, which Whitey, you know how he is about practice. Y'all got to be there. So, as he should. But I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. Also, Nathan has not really been to practice. When are these games?
Right.
When was the last game we ever saw? Because we've had their wedding. Now it's a couple days after the wedding. Like, I think these people should be in school. They should have had a basketball game. And yet we have not seen the basketball game. We haven't seen it because the episode before their wedding wasn't
that just the one where Nathan somehow opened stitches he probably shouldn't have even had still?
He what?
Didn't he open up stitches or was that different?
No.
That was different. I don't know. I don't remember the last game then.
Yeah, I think that was the last game, but that was like season 3, episode 19 or something. It wasn't anything recent. So how are we into season 4, episode 2, and we haven't seen a game yet? We all know, like anyone who went and watched games, they know that the games are every week. So how are we gonna go a whole couple weeks without seeing a basketball game?
Maybe they didn't want to make it too repetitive, so people don't get bored if there's like a game like every other episode or something.
But this is a basketball show.
I know, but
we know that. Secondly, no, it's because they're trying to drag it on. Because we still see them play basketball into like mid-season 4, and it's like...
Yeah, it should be like their second semester of senior year. It doesn't really play out that way too much.
And so that's why I'm like so thrown off, because I'm like, it's every week that there's a game. So I don't understand how they're not playing, and Nathan... Because I would think that he would be missing practice.
Right.
And Whitey would be like... all mad and trying to help him, like, because of who Whitey is. Like, he would try to be pulling Nathan back because he's missing practice, which isn't looking good for him. So it doesn't make sense. Plus, in this episode, he talks about basketball. when are you going? Because it seems like you, I don't even know, are they even going to school? These people aren't even going to school either. You don't see them at school either. They're like all on vacation or something. Each and every one of them have went on vacation or something. Because again, they're not at school.
Right.
Because the wedding was probably on a Saturday. A couple days later, they'd be in school. And so I don't understand how they're not in school.
Right.
Okay, so like Nathan and Haley, let's say they had taken a couple days off to go to London. So they technically don't have to go because they've already said that they're not going to school, right?
Right.
Okay, I'll excuse them. Not really, but I'll excuse them. What about the rest of them?
Right.
And I get Rachel was in the hospital, okay, so she's excused. But Brooke, Lucas, Peyton, Skills, why are these people in school?
Right.
Because they're all just wandering to people's houses and have all the time in the world, and none of them are in school. I'm sorry, but school is not like on the weekend where you go 2 days a week and then you got 5 days off. That's what I think these people are forgetting. Is it's not, these people are not at school. It's so confusing to me, as that's why I'm wondering if it is a break or something where they're just not telling us it's like the winter break or something, because it's odd.
Yeah. And then Lucas narrates about making a choice.
Oh yeah, because wouldn't it be bad for Brooke to go to school and see them? Like after the breakup?
Yeah, I mean,
for Brooke to have to go to school and see Lucas and Peyton. But we're not seeing any of that because they ain't going to school. So they can avoid each other because it's like they're on break.
And then at Lucas's, Peyton is there. She just learned that Brooke broke up with him, and she asks Lucas if she had any reason to. And Lucas says that Brooke said that she loved him, but she didn't miss him anymore. And then tells Peyton Brooke said that it wasn't because of her, Peyton, but if that's true, then there's something that she's not telling him.
Was she at Lucas's house?
Yeah. Yeah, I said then at Lucas's, Peyton is there.
Was she, or was Lucas at Peyton's?
I don't know, that's what I put down. So.
Because I feel like he was at Peyton's house.
Well, she said that I heard that Brooke broke up with you, so it's like she was going to him about it. Because then that's when Peyton tells him the night of Nathan and Haley's rehearsal dinner. She said something but then the power goes out of the house.
Yeah. Oh. So they're at Peyton's. Yeah, I was going to say, because she's sitting on her bed and she has a bigger bedroom than her. And yeah, so that's why it was throwing me off. Yeah, they're at Peyton's house.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the power goes out and Lucas jokes about maybe Brooke cut the power and she's coming to kill them. And Peyton says the power should turn back on any second. This happens once in a while. We definitely know this. But it still freaks her out. And Lucas said it's okay. He's right there. And he asks for her hand and he brings her closer to him. And then Lucas tells...
Peyton's the one that said Brooke cut the power and is trying to kill both of us. Oh. That was Peyton said that. And he just said funny, and then she just said it should be back on in a second.
Oh, I thought they both kind of said the joke.
No, because Peyton's trying to be awkwardly funny. Because she's trying to win him back or something.
And then, Lucas tells Payne that he's going to get Brooke back, and that Payne asks if he's sure, because she knows.
It's weird, because Payne was trying to say before the power went out that she likes him. She was trying to say it. And then that's when he was like, out of nowhere, no, I want her back and everything. And she's like, okay, I won't say my feelings again. And that's when she was like, she can help him and stuff. And I still don't get how she can help him.
Right.
Because Brooke ain't gonna listen to either one of them. Let's be honest. Why does he want her back? After everything. Why does he want her back? Especially when all season 3, whenever Peyton needed him, he was there. And when Brooke needed him, he wasn't.
Yeah.
And he's always with Peyton now. Why does he want Brooke so bad?
Yeah.
I don't get this at all.
Yeah, he just says to Payne that you can't help who you love, and that's when the power comes back on.
So isn't it easier with Peyton?
Yeah.
Because with Brooke, it was always drama and jealousy and this and that. Where here, they're just having fun. Isn't this who you're supposed to be? I'm just so tired of Lucas at this point. When he said he wanted Brooke, I was like, okay, Lucas, like, you're a dummy. Like, I love you and all, but you're stupid. Because why not just be with Peyton? It's how many times are you going to try to be with Brooke, for crying out loud?
Yeah, because they never seemed to have anything in common or bond over anything. It was just always
The past.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's always them either fighting or they're just having sex. Like, there's nothing beyond that they really have a connection with.
They can't ever get anywhere, like, move forward because they're always going back to the past of the trauma. Well, okay, then end it. But I don't get why he says he wants Brooke. Because it hasn't worked.
Yeah, so Payne asks what time it is, because she can't see her clock right now.
It's midnight.
Yep, and she tells him what that means. So Lucas wants Brooke back, but he didn't even know that today's her birthday now. And he's been dating her. He was dating her before and didn't know her birthday, or?
Well, I think he was just like, they looked at each other because it was, I think they had to tell us it was Brooke's birthday, so the audience knows.
I just thought it was weird.
No, I think he looked at her because it's like, oh, like it's midnight and it's her birthday, sort of thing. Yeah, I think he knew it was her birthday. Peyton just had to tell the audience it was Brooke's birthday. But I think he knew.
Well, he says no, he doesn't know what today is. No, it's midnight, so just.
Well, he probably don't. I don't think men know what the date is. I mean, heck, some people don't even know like what the date is. It's like, what's today? Like, what's the date? I mean, people get the dates wrong all the time. So I don't think he really, plus the fact that they broke up and everything, I don't really think he is too.
Yeah, because they did it twice now, and so I'm just surprised he didn't know it was her birthday coming up at least.
I mean, he probably did, but like just a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
That it's like, wedding, I don't know, because I think he probably knew it was coming up, but it's like, I don't know what that day is. I mean, what is the date? I mean, that's probably what it was.
Yeah. And then Brooke is at Rachel's looking at a cup, saying that it looks just like her and Rachel. And then she goes through the album of her baby book, opening it and telling herself happy birthday and welcome to 18. You certainly made a mess of it. And then Nathan gets home.
Why would I don't understand why she said, oh, well, like, oh, you made a mess of it to herself. And I'm like, what?
Maybe that was, again, to trick the audience into thinking maybe she's pregnant and that's why she thinks it's a mess.
Because I'm like.
Or maybe because she's definitely not living where she thought she would be.
Because I'm like, you broke up with him for the reasons that you should.
Yeah.
I don't, like, she's doing everything right. So I don't get why she would say she's made a mess of it when she didn't make a mess of it.
And then Nathan gets home. Haley says she's worried about him because, he's been out over at that bridge.
And apparently he went to go visit Cooper, but there's no change.
Right.
And then that's when Haley surprisingly tells him that she saw Rachel grab the wheel. I honestly thought he was going to, like, defend Rachel for a second. Because, no, but I mean, like, worse than you kind of did. Like, kind of be like, don't bring this up. So, like, that kind of thing. Like, he doesn't want to think about it sort of thing. And so that was, like, my whole thing. Because, because she said, like, she's to blame if he doesn't wake up. But he didn't defend her. He didn't defend Rachel.
Yeah, it's just he's caught up in what he saw underwater that he's not really focused on anything else.
No, but you said he defended Rachel. He didn't defend her.
No, what did I say? I said,
because when I said that I'm surprised he didn't defend her, you said he did, and I was like, he didn't defend her.
I was talking about how he was focused on what was underwater. He wasn't really paying attention to what she was saying about Rachel, really.
But he knows, because he ends up telling, he knows, he heard her. But I was just surprised he didn't, like, stop her, like, trash talking Rachel sort of thing, like, blaming her.
No, he doesn't really even know Rachel, so.
Yes, he does. He knows Rachel.
Not really. He doesn't really care about her, so.
I know. Well, that's why I thought maybe he would try to defend her, because, Haley don't like her. And then it was weird, because he asked Haley, like, did she see anything else, like, anybody else in the water? And it's like, what? Like, you're the only one that thinks there was somebody. And it was weird because when he said about anyone else in the water, I was like, you and Lucas were the only ones under there. Haley was yelling up top.
Yeah.
She didn't even touch the water. I'm like, how would she know if somebody was underwater?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what threw me off. I was like, she wasn't even in the water.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ask Lucas?
And then the phone rings as the hospital say Cooper's awake.
So is Nathan like Cooper's contact?
Yeah, that was my thing, because you think it'd be...
Would be Deb, because it's his sister and Nathan is underage.
Yeah, well, he's emancipated, so he could be included if Cooper told him.
If, but Cooper was staying with Deb, so you would think Deb would be. But then again, she has kind of gone AWOL, so maybe he changed it when he came back.
Yeah, and it would have made sense too if Deb just called him after the hospital called her, so they could have done that too, but... And then at the hospital, Detective Reeves, that's his name, returns to...
I like the detective.
Now that he's...
Why is Rachel in there?
Yeah, she shouldn't be because of the investigation.
Right. Like, I need to talk to you two separately. But I'm like, why? Why, Rachel? Are you in there?
Yeah.
I don't understand this.
Yeah, she would be asked to step out.
I was waiting for him to, like, turn around and be like, Miss, I need you to go into your room. It's really annoying that she's standing there with the freaking detective.
Right.
That was just making me mad. And then, of course, Cooper is looking at her like, okay, I guess
like influencing him in his answers.
Yeah, and so, he's like, oh, I just lost control. We were going fast. I'm like, oh my God. Again, race cars go fast. What are you talking? Like, remember when the detective said he's a race car driver?
Yeah, but then it's not brought up.
So here, when he says, well, we were going too fast. Okay, I'm sorry, but race cars go faster than actual cars, especially a limo.
Yeah.
So why would a detective be like, you're a race car driver. You go 200 miles an hour.
Right.
You're used to that. What are you talking about? You're going too fast.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going 90? That's not even half of what you do on a race car. So that's what threw me off. I was like, last episode, he told Rachel he's a race car driver. So why wouldn't the detective follow up with that of what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Plus, do you really think the limo goes that fast?
Yeah, so when Cooper said it was his fault, like, the detective didn't question that. He, kind of pushed it to see if that was actually what he was, really, like, if that's what he really thought or was it true. Like, because Rachel was right next to him, like we said.
He did. The detective looked back at Rachel.
I know, but he didn't push Cooper to see if that was actually his final answer.
Because that's what Cooper said. So I guess he has to go with whatever Cooper says, I guess, is his statement.
Yeah.
But I was just like, it threw me off because I'm like, you had no problems telling Rachel that, but then you were not going to talk about it?
Right.
That was odd.
And then, Rachel tells Cooper hi, as if she thought that he wanted to talk to her.
Oh my God, and all he said was like, how's the baby? And that's when she has to tell him the truth. That she was angry and stuff, so she just said she was pregnant. He said, get out. I love it.
Yeah, well, I thought it was something because he said, is everything okay? So he wasn't specific. So Rachel thought, he was worried about her, saying like, oh, yeah, I'm fine.
You don't care about her.
Yeah. So, and then that's when he said about the baby. So like, she thought she had hope again that he cared.
I don't know why she has hope. He said no. How many times?
Yeah.
Get the hint, girl. Yeah. And so, I loved when he said get out because like that girl needs like a slap in the face. But also, like I love that he didn't like take her back. He didn't try talking to her. He found out the truth and we're done. Like, get out. And I love it. But then when it's the camera's just on him.
You could tell he was sad, disappointed, yeah.
Like, because obviously...
He didn't even, like, look at her when she walked out.
Well, and it just was so sad because, like, for him, the last thing before the accident was she said she was pregnant. And so he wakes up worried about the baby. Like, that was on his mind the whole time. And it's just like, poor Cooper, like, that's where it's just sad. Because, like, yes, I'm glad Rachel's not pregnant, but at the same time, it's like, that's what was in your head before the accident. When you woke up. Like, how many people think of that?
Right.
Like, that are guys. It's always the women of, like, how's my baby? Sort of thing. But the fact that that was on his mind, I was like, poor Cooper, like, but again, it's a good thing she's not pregnant because she's underage and you'd probably be arrested. Because clearly that's what the detective wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't she almost 18 or something? Shouldn't this not be an issue? Like, I guess she's 17, but I thought like the age is like 15 or 16 to be charged. I don't think it's 17.
No, yeah, 16.
Because I'm like, there's 17-year-olds that date, 2020. Like, I'm like, I didn't really think it's that big of a deal. It's 17 because she's almost 18.
Mm-hmm.
I get if you're 15 or 16, but I thought that was the age of consent was that you'd be charged with.
Right.
Not at 17.
I mean, they still could if Rachel's parents probably pressed charges.
This is also North Carolina where Nathan and Haley could get married at 16.
Mm-hmm.
So
if they got their parents' permission, yeah.
Yeah, but they're still able to get married.
Mm-hmm.
There are some states that you can't get married.
Right.
So that's what I'm just saying is they're in the South, let's say, because they are. It's North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me that the consent age is 17?
No, it's 16.
Mm-hmm. So he wouldn't be charged.
Right.
So what's the big deal for the detective? Like, he wants Rachel to be charged then? Is that what the detective is trying to point at?
Yeah, just for the accident, not the relationship.
Because I'm like, what's the big deal, dude? Like, it's not like he'd be like, you would be charged if anybody found out, because,
Yeah, no, he's only protecting her because she's young and did a stupid thing, and she would probably
She did a very stupid thing. She almost killed him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if it was me, I'd be telling the cop everything. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or would you, like, stick up for her?
No, not after grabbing that wheel, no.
I know, I'd be like, wait, you caught me off guard. Mm-hmm. My mind, I had to come back to, like, it seems like he had just woken up and the detective was there. Mm-hmm. So I would tell the detective, sorry, I had to eat or something to, like, now I can talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was Cooper. I would tell the detective everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have lied for Rachel. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. If anything, what should have happened was, if she was pregnant, he still should have said something, and then he could have full custody of the kid.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Which would probably be better.
Yeah, he could have easily, because they're not together as a couple, and, she's not working or anything, so she wouldn't have the income to support the baby. So.
Right. And if she's in jail, you really can't.
Yeah. So then Dan is at the mayor, he's at his office, the mayor's
office. This is hilarious. Yeah. He was, oh my God. I haven't seen Dan stern like that in a long time. Mm-hmm. Remember, because right now.
He hasn't been around Nathan.
Well, with Deb, that was it.
Yeah.
But, like, not with other people, because, like, he's been kind of nice. Mm-hmm. Like, because he's been staying away from everybody, so he's been kind of nice and just been tormented, which is great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when the guy comes in for the package and he said, Mr. Murder, mm-hmm. Dan's like, what'd you call me? Mm-hmm. And he's like, Mr. Mayor? Mm-hmm. And he's, okay, from now on, leave the packages with the assistant? What?
Yeah, one of the assistants, he said, yeah. So apparently he has more than one.
Would they be out there in the front?
I guess, in their own room or office or something.
So you'd have to go to their office? That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, maybe they're more in the front. We don't really know the layout.
It's kind of like
place.
That's what I'm just kind of like. Because wouldn't like the secretary be up front? Not an assistant. That's what I was thrown off by. He said assistant, and I'm like,
maybe like a personal assistant that just takes care of his personal things, while the secretaries kind of deal with everything.
Are they hanging out up front together?
I guess, yeah.
That's what
I can imagine there's more than two, at least, but if you said one of them, but...
Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, okay. But again, when he got stern in that voice, I was like, oh my God. I like jumped for a second. I was like, oh, there we go. There's the Dan Scott voice. Ooh, that creeps me out.
And then at the river court, Lucas tells Skills that Brooke, broke up with him, and Skills says that's gold.
Skills is hilarious. Mm-hmm. He was so invested in this relationship. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't have his own love life, so he's trying to butt into Lucas's, even though he has a girlfriend. No, he's dating. I said as if he doesn't have one.
Oh, okay.
But he spent a lot of time trying to get information when, shouldn't he be off with Bevan? It's awfully weird.
I don't think they've been together since, what, like,
because he wasn't at
the cabin?
Why? Okay. he's friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't he at the wedding?
Yeah, I don't know. Especially with Haley, because they kind of go back too, so I don't know.
Yeah, because like they were all friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became friends with Nathan. So
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't he be at their wedding?
Yeah, maybe he couldn't film for that episode that day,
You
so.
could just say he was in. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bevan was there. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
Bevan?
Yeah.
Who isn't really friends with Nathan and Haley, but she was there, but Skills wasn't?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's odd
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, so, Skills saying, like, it's cool that Brooke broke up with him, although he did kiss Peyton.
Oh my god, but it was hilarious when Peyton walks up and he called her, "Hey, what's up, homewrecker?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and Lucas was like, do you want a tryout for the Ravens or not? And he says, he does, I do, but that doesn't mean he didn't kiss Peyton. So he's like just joking on.
Yeah, he wants the tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So this is when Peyton asks Lucas the question of, well, that's when, she does say that she wants to help him again.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when she asks him the question of, like, imagine a moment in your life while your dreams come true. Who do you want standing next to you or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he has to make a joke.
Yeah. And no, this is the parallel later.
The Brooke saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, of course, he said, Brooke. What? He's so annoying.
Yeah, so like this is the parallel.
But he's so annoying.
But, yeah.
Just freaking say it's Peyton, for God's sakes.
But so do you think that at this point the writers were trying to make him and Brooke endgame, or they planned that it was going to be him and Peyton later on? Because the girls were all told something differently. Who was
yeah, but I think it was always Lucas and Peyton. I just think that they're being really annoying with this whole thing. Yeah. Like, I guess it leads up to like a season 5 thing where Lucas, of course, is not picking the person that he wants to be with, which is Peyton, because he does the same crap when Lindsay leaves him. He tries going after her, even though the person that you want is right in front of you. He does it then, and he's doing it here. So I guess it's a parallel to that of like, he keeps picking the wrong one.
Do you think maybe he's, because there's guys who just honestly don't know how to be alone, so maybe that's why he keeps picking Brooke?
He's single, ready to be with them.
Maybe because he knows Payne is kind of, keeps people at a distance, doesn't really let them in, so I don't know. And maybe because he knows that she's going through the thing with, like, finding out she has a brother or something. I don't know, like, trying to
spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to be friends right now because he knows that she needs that. I don't know.
Because it's just, like, annoying because, we know the truth that he loves Peyton, always has, and yet you're not going to pick your dream girl who's standing right in front of you. It's really annoying. But I think Lucas is the person that picks. I don't know if it's, like, Lucas. It might be, okay, because, like, his ideal image of, like, the perfect family was Karen, Keith, and him.
Yeah.
Right? That was his perfect image of a perfect family.
Yeah.
And it's gone. So maybe it's in a way of like him, if he picks his dream girl, it might end up like that, where he could lose her and then he'd be devastated. So let's pick like the second best girl and it won't be so devastating.
I don't know about that.
No, but it could be, because why does he pick Lindsay and not Peyton in season 5? Like it's just who Lucas is. He picks the wrong one because is he not ready for the right one?
I don't know. I think he just doesn't know who's the right one, so he's just picking who he thinks is the right one. I don't know. It's like we would have to talk to him ourselves about what he's thinking to get a better understanding. But
well, Lucas is a character. We'll never know that.
I know. I'm saying if we could, that would be the only way to figure it out.
Listen, he's only a character. Yeah. We'd have to talk to the writers.
But that was funny when Payne was listening, like, is it your mom? Is it Haley? And then Skills, like, me, that was funny.
I know, like, Skills is just inserting himself in this. It's hilarious. Yeah. Also, I have a question. Why does he go to Peyton's with Peyton and Lucas?
I don't know. I liked that it was a way to include him more in the show, because we don't really see him too often.
What's the point?
Yeah, it was just so funny. But yeah.
I love Skills, but I'm like, why is he with Lucas and Peyton at Peyton's house in her like? I know that's where they all go, but I'm just like, why is he there? They're talking about getting Brooke back. I thought maybe he was a part of it, like. You talk to Brooke and get her to go. Like, I thought maybe Skills was a part of it, but no, he's just trying to get the gossip. And I'm like, what? So what they do is at the river court invite him along. That was odd to me.
Probably just because they didn't really have nowhere to be, so might as well tag along. But yeah, they wait until now to show the theme song. And then
no, but I just thought it was weird because like you're not really gonna invite someone else. Like I got a plane for you. You're not gonna go. Yeah, you come with us. Like, especially when he is. He's dating Brooke's friend Bevan. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
Unless again he was a part of getting Brooke to go to the mall or whatever. I could see that.
Right.
But the fact that it wasn't, he just dared to get the gossip was odd. Also, it's not even like he went there to go get music. I could see that too. But it wasn't. He had no reason to be there.
Well, I haven't been paying attention to the theme song lately. So when I was listening to Drama Queens, they mentioned...
I don't either. I skipped through.
Yeah. They mentioned that Antoine's name is now included in the theme song.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he's...
Last episode.
So now he's like a main character. So I think that's why he was here, because... he has to be more in the show now that he's a main character, so they didn't know where else to put him, so they had him go with Lucas and Peyton.
It was stupid. There's no reason why he should be there.
I mean, it was still funny that he was there.
It was funny, but I'm just... it would have been better if he would have said, I need some music or something. And... or like, Bevan doesn't have like the best style of music. Can you help me out? And then like, that's why she's there. Because she's helping like both of them. But no, he's only there for the gossip. And I was like, what?
Right. Yeah, so, he asks if Payne has any hip-hop in her collection, and she lists some old school stuff. And, he says Payne's lawyer getting sexier by the hour, really impressed with her collection. And then, but I thought what was odd was that she told him that if he finds a Led Zeppelin album with a letter from her second dead mom telling her about her biological half-brother she's never met, then just go ahead and skip that one. Like, that was, like, information he didn't really need, or you'd think that she wouldn't just blurt out to him like that,
Peyton, it's an open book. Listen to her podcast. But what I thought was funny when he goes, that sounds like a whole lot of white drama. And I really don't understand.
Yeah, but okay.
It's hilarious. I was busting out laughing. I was like, Skills is definitely the comedy king, I feel like.
Yeah. And then, Lucas says, speaking of which, did you call him? And she says yes, but she hung up before he answered. So that's why I pointed out before, like, he actually did answer. He said hello, then she hung up. But here she's saying he didn't answer.
Yeah. Also, Lucas loves getting into Peyton's drama, right? All her family drama. He never once asks Brooke anything about her family, right? Like, they don't talk about anything. But he's so eager to, like, go and ask Peyton all these questions and, like, get in her business. I'm like, and yet you still want Brooke. Here you are spending all this time asking her questions, blah, blah, blah. She said... like, basically, she had she has a plan for him. And he's talking about her issue, like, her family drama.
Right.
Like, what? If your whole thing was getting Brooke back, that should be the only thing in your head. But it's not. Peyton is still on your mind. Like, Lucas, this is why you're stupid.
And then, Peyton makes up the excuse that she was going to call Derek. But then...
just call him now.
No, I'm talking about she's gonna call him again the second time.
Why? He didn't want to talk to you the first time.
Well, he said hello, but she hung up, so she was the one that made it seem like she didn't want to talk to him. So that's why Lucas said, like, did you call him again? Or where are you gonna call him again?
Don't think you're a stalker. You're probably just gonna block your number.
So that's when Payne says that she was gonna call him again, but then he came over crying like a schoolgirl.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I did not.
And, Lucas says that Elliot was pretty sharp, so there's probably a reason she left her his number, and probably a reason that she called him. And then Lucas asks that, then he didn't cry like a schoolgirl.
I thought it was funny when Peyton was like, "Oh, did you find anything good over there?" And he was like, he's like, "I'm just trying to hear all the business."
Yeah, he's trying to look at the music.
And I'm just waiting to see how the plan is to get Brooke back. And then he was teasing Lucas about crying like a schoolgirl.
Yeah, for the schoolgirl. Yeah.
It was funny.
And Lucas says, he's waiting to find out too, and then tells Skills that he was not crying like that.
And he goes, "Yeah, you were." It was funny.
So then, we never saw Brooke have a birthday before on the show, so it's not unusual.
We never really saw any of them.
Yeah, so
isn't Brooke the first one to have a birthday?
Yeah, and it seems like she's the oldest too, because she's 18 now.
Yeah, because it's still during basketball.
Yeah.
So Brooke is the first one. Yeah, Brooke's the first one to have a birthday, right?
Yeah, and we're in season 4, like halfway.
Well, no, in the series.
Yeah, I'm just saying that we're this far through and almost halfway through the whole series too, and now somebody has a birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, we all see them go from 16 to 17, but like not
when their birthday is.
Not on the exact day.
He has a birthday in the summer, in the winter, in the spring, the fall. When's their birthdays? Who's the oldest? Who's the baby?
So, we're in October for air date, right? Was that October?
Yeah, October 5th or
something.
Because
Sophia said that Brooke's birthday is actually in March, but this aired in October, so I don't understand that.
How would she know when her birthday is?
I don't know, just a fact she got from somewhere along the way. It might be included in somewhere online, but because sometimes you can look up characters' birthdays.
Yeah, but when have I ever seen her birthday? Okay, are we ever going to see Brooke's birthday in the future?
Davis, I don't think so.
Okay, then this is the only time.
Yeah, let's see, birthday. Yeah, it's listed on IDMB as that is her birthday in March. Of course, that could tell us where they got that from. But if it's on here, then it's true. Did anybody see it? Yeah, wait, no. Is this the right Brooke Davis? Where am I? Nope, this is a different Brooke Davis. Oh yeah, this is a different Brooke Davis from something else. Okay, maybe I can't find it then.
Well, it makes sense then.
Davis. I mean, because if we think about where they are in their senior year, then yeah, so this confirms that it would be March.
Yeah.
So maybe it's on the Brooke Davis this way.
No, then it would be right.
Yeah.
It just isn't right that they're not done playing basketball yet. Because I know that the championship is episode 9, so I guess it is. But her birthday must be March. The first week of March then.
Yeah, March 4th.
Yeah, okay, well that makes sense then. So yeah, so her birthday is at the beginning of March, and then, because it's episode 9 or something, is the championship. So, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I'm looking at the fan Wikipedia, and it's even giving me her exact addresses she's lived at, pretty much.
Well, so you said it doesn't make sense that it's in March?
No, I mean it does when you think about when.
Well, because you said Sophia said it's in March, but then I think you were trying to hint that it's wrong.
No, it just feels wrong because they air this in October, so
I know, but it's the second half of the school year. That's why.
Yeah, I know. It just feels off because we're in a whole different season too.
Not to me.
Not season show wise, but weather wise.
Not to me. It all feels like it should be where it's supposed to be because we're finishing out the year.
So then Peyton explains to Lucas about their birthday tradition. For Brooke, they go to the mall. She steals something for her just because, and gets away with it because her dad was friends with the manager, so they end up paying back whatever she took anyways.
Yeah, they never tell Brooke because Brooke liked it.
So, I mean, that would explain...
So Brooke liked always steal?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When she stole the bra from that one store. So that wasn't a brand new thing that she did. Maybe just the first time in a while because, she hasn't been getting along with Peyton. Yeah,
but do you remember when Felix made her dine and dash and she didn't want to?
Well, I guess
and she said that's not who she is, but apparently it's always been who you are.
Yeah, I don't know then.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, then it doesn't make sense of what Felix and her went through.
Because she never directly stole herself. It was Peyton that did it for her. Maybe that's kind of what she
But then you said she stole a bra.
Yeah, because that was later on when she didn't have the money, so she was kind of desperate.
So it was around the time for Felix and the dare night.
Yeah.
So it would all go together then, of her stealing.
I think that might have been before she took the bra. Was it the dinner?
I don't know, but it just doesn't make sense then. If she's always liked to steal.
I can't remember or to specifically remember what happened when, but yeah, so Peyton says that Lucas can use this to get Brooke back by if he does a stealing to her.
Okay, if she's I did not agree with this. If she's always done this with Peyton, they always had like a time to meet and stuff, obviously, and they went. Well, why would Peyton think that Brooke is gonna go again? Like, obviously, if you two are no longer friends, Brooke never wants to talk to you ever, then why would she go to the mall by herself on her birthday and steal? She's not going to, especially if you were the one that stole.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And then she's like, oh, well, just go in my place. Brooke doesn't even know you're going. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's one thing if Peyton would have said, like, I know we're not talking, but, like, I still want to, like, celebrate our tradition. Or maybe she could have said Bevan is going to go in her place. And then really it's Lucas. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because,
it just doesn't make sense that Brooke is going to know that Peyton technically is going to be there, but really it's Lucas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're in a fight with somebody, all of your plans and traditions are over with.
Yeah. Yeah, because even Lucas points it out, like, how do you even know if she's going to show? And Peyton just said that she's just helping, she's not helping Brooke, she's helping him. So that was her only reason, apparently.
Again, Brooke is not going to go there on her birthday and remember the tradition with Peyton. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they could have written this better, but
just
something. Well, yeah, with Bevan. But, like, I don't think Brooke would have listened to Peyton either. Like,
no, if Bevan would have said, if Bevan would have said, if Bevan would have said, like, hey, let's go shopping. Like, I heard what you would.
I feel like Bevan wouldn't, slip up and say, oh, like, Peyton told me to come here. And,
no, Skills could have done it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I just think somebody else could have told Brooke, like, let's go shopping. And then really it's Lucas. Anybody else?
Yeah, too bad it wasn't somebody on the team that wasn't Bevan, because then they could have done it easier, because they wouldn't have slipped up like Bevan, because, she would wipe her mouth and said that it was whoever told me.
Yeah. I don't know. It just drove me nuts because I'm like, if she's in a fight if she hates you, doesn't want to talk to you, she's definitely not going to go shopping and steal when that was your thing. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this whole thing is stupid unless, again, you have somebody else covering. And then it's Lucas showing up there. And then she's like, why'd you ambush me, blah, blah. That kind of thing. But the fact that it just doesn't make sense. Because clearly she doesn't even go there. She's going to, like, the bar with Rachel. Like, what?
Yeah.
Because, again, that's what you would do. You wouldn't go and do the same ritual by yourself with somebody. By yourself.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, even if it was Bevan that took Payne's place and Skills told Bevan about it, then Brooke would, if Brooke found out that Skills told Bevan, then she would wonder how Skills would know, and then she would think that he found out from Lucas. But then how would Lucas would know, so then she would figure out that Lucas talked to Peyton. So it would still always come back to Peyton if she, thought about it.
Anybody else on the team? On the cheer team?
Yeah, so I'm saying it would have been, but I don't know, just like, someone else would have to know the secret besides for the two girls.
All Peyton would have to do is be like, can you go shopping with Brooke? It's her birthday. It's what we do. And that kind of thing. Yeah. It didn't have to be anything more. And again, it's just a cover-up story.
Yeah. And I thought it was funny, too, when Lucas asked Skills, what does he think of his plan? He just says, oh, you lost me at Led Zeppelin, so.
He wasn't really listening. It was too much talking for him.
And then Brooke said Rachel was trying on a fake bump. Again, they were trying to steer us like,
oh, she's pregnant. Yep, she's trying to see what she's going to look like in 8 months.
Try to figure out clothes, what to wear and everything.
I'm like, okay.
And then Rachel walks in, wondering what the hell she's doing. And Brooke said that she's
So, did you know there's something else?
What?
In this episode?
What?
They're putting Brooke in loose clothes.
Oh, yeah.
To make it look like she could be gaining weight because of a baby. Because think, Brooke always wore the tight clothes, the tight dresses, the tight shirts. She loved all that, loved showing her body off. And now all of a sudden she's wearing loose clothes that could hide if you're gaining weight. Yeah. I'm like, I know. And I noticed that last episode too, she was doing it once she got out of that dress. She was wearing loose clothing and I was like, I think it's to tell us, like, she's the one that's pregnant because this is what you would do if you were pregnant trying to hide it, is wear something that doesn't, even though I think it would still make you look pregnant. Yeah. Especially if that's not your wardrobe. So that's what was odd to me. And I'm surprised Rachel didn't point that out. Like, she's so much into clothes and everything. I'm surprised she'd say, why are you wearing that shirt? Well, yeah. Like, it makes you look big anyway. Or, like, that kind of thing. Like, I could say Rachel saying that instead of, like, what happened to your cute tops that, make you look skinny and sexy and all of that. Like, I'm surprised Rachel, of all people, didn't say that. Instead, she just, like, let it go. I was like, and all Brooke said was, her excuse was, she wants to do a maternity line. And I was like, which makes sense for her.
What do you mean?
To do a maternity line. She makes clothes. Yeah. So it makes sense that she would be trying to figure out how to make maternity clothes. Yeah. Like, she's learning how to do it. It makes sense for Brooke. Okay, think if it was somebody else. Peyton did it. You can't say Peyton's making a maternity line. That doesn't even make sense. Yeah. You can't say Haley would do it either. So it makes sense that Brooke would. So that was actually a really good cover-up for Brooke. Yeah, she said too that all the singers and actors were preggers too. Even though I don't think they would go for Brooke Davis' clothes because they don't know who she is and she's only she's now 18 years old. Yeah, and she's still working in her. Well, now she doesn't have a job. I mean, she should still be making clothes for her website, though, but they just never show it again. Yeah, they dropped that after the first day. But apparently she is, though, because she's talking about doing them, to act like it. Because Rachel, that was my thing, was like, if she quit doing clothes that episode, Rachel then would be like, she would be like, because I think this would be a perfect time for Rachel to say, what are you talking about another line when you're not even doing your other line? Yeah. But I could see for Rachel to say that. But again, she didn't say that. She was going along with it. So it makes me think Brooke is still doing it. As in she never stopped, because that would be a good segue for Rachel to bring that up of like, you're not even doing your other clothes. Yeah, they could have, and I feel like they could have easily started Brooke off like doing commissions, like just personal, requests from friends or, somebody that need people in the town and make clothes for them, like start off that small, like the small town kind of thing. Well, they didn't. They went right to a website. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I could start doing that too and then build up to the website, but they kind of seem to be doing that backwards because, she made Haley's wedding dress and was going to make Karen's, and we supposedly think that she made the bridesmaids' dresses too, but that was all for free. I'm guessing she wouldn't take money from Haley, for all those dresses, but... Well, no, Haley would buy her own, and trust me, bridesmaids pay their own for their own dress, trust me. Oh, yeah. I was bridesmaids, you pay for your own, and you're like, Well, then maybe she designed them at least, but yeah. Yeah, I think she designed them, and of course she just made, and the only bridesmaid there was her and Peyton, so I'm sure she made Peyton pay. Wasn't Karen? Oh no, she was sitting. She was sitting in the stairs. And then it was just Lucas and Cooper as. Yeah, I guess they just want to make it even. They didn't have enough guys anyway, so I mean they could have if they had the River Boys show up or
the teammates from Ravens, but of course we don't really know them.
So, I was just I was like, that storyline does make sense that she would be the one to make a line, even though we know it's a cover. Also, why is she so concerned of? I don't understand this at all. If Haley's the one that's pregnant, because we know she is, why is Brooke trying to see what she would look like pregnant? Like, we know it's to throw us off to think she is, but in reality, why would you be trying that on when you're not pregnant and your friend is? It doesn't make sense.
I think just to get better measurements too of what she might, like the size of what she might be at this stage and this stage, like trying to plan out ahead so she can have the clothes ready for Haley by the time she gets that big.
Who said she's making clothes for Haley?
Well, that's what it seemed like she was doing. I don't know.
No, I think it was for us as an audience to say, like, it is Brooke, because she's trying to see what she's going to look like in 5-6 months. But the truth of the matter, it's Haley pregnant. So why is Brooke so concerned of what she's going to look like in a couple months?
Well, I think it's just a project that Brooke wants to do for Haley, and just...
I don't think it is. It's a cover-up. This whole thing is a cover-up.
Well, just because Brooke just seems to be that good of a friend that she would do that.
She never makes any clothes for her coming up. It's all a cover-up.
Oh, I don't know. That's what I thought.
She's only lying to Rachel saying it, that she wants to make a line. But really, it's a cover-up. And I don't understand this at all. Why she'd be so concerned at what Haley looks like. Because it ain't you. It makes no sense. At all.
But then Rachel has a bouquet of flowers and she puts on her bed, and because they have separate beds, making Brooke think that they're for her birthday. And, she tells Rachel, you shouldn't have. And she says, what? And Brooke explains that it's her birthday. She's the first one to remember. And Rachel says, oh, it's your birthday? And Brooke says, maybe.
Or not, yeah.
And then Rachel explains that the flowers are from her parents. There was a card.
Why wasn't her parents? They sent her, wait, her parents sent her flowers because she got a hospital.
Yeah.
They never came to visit.
Yeah. So Rachel, so there was a card that basically said, glad you didn't die. And that the Italian murderer misses you.
Oh my god.
And, Brooke says at least they sent her flowers because her parents forgot her birthday. And Rachel then tosses the flowers to Brooke, telling her happy birthday. And, she didn't even have to almost die to get them. And Brooke says, great, secondhand death flowers. Thanks. Shoot me now. So a good thing she wasn't with Peyton when she said this, because that would also be kind of insensitive to say.
I think she'd be happy to say it.
Oh, well,
because she hates Peyton right now.
Yeah, true, yeah. But then Deb's at the cafe.
Oh my god, Deb.
With the customers, the customer telling her that she's been waiting to talk to a waiter for 15 minutes.
So this threw me off because, well, first of all, Haley is like the waitress, so it's kind of weird that she wouldn't go and talk to the customer after 15 minutes. It wasn't like they were like that full. Secondly, she's mad at Deb, the lady, and also like the sandwich looked like it was half eaten. So it threw me off because I was like,
I didn't see it.
Because like she was like saying like she ordered Reuben and not a tuna salad, but it looked kind of eaten.
Yeah. And
then Deb has to say like, oh, like by the judging of your ass, maybe you should try the tuna salad and consider it a favor. And I was just like, but it made no sense. And then Deb takes a bite. I was like, ew, it's already been touched. And then, oh my god, I was like, that's just gross.
Yeah, talking with her mouthful, yeah.
But I'm like, why would she go and eat it? After somebody else had it. That is disgusting. Yeah. Oh my god. But also, why are you complaining after you already had it? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, but either way, you could just see Haley just staying there in horror, like, not really being able to do anything, I guess. I mean, she could have stepped in, but since Deb's the boss, she probably felt like she couldn't, but... and then Karen apparently was somewhere else.
At home, worrying about a baby.
Yeah.
She's gonna be doing that for 9 months then.
And then Nathan goes to see Cooper in the hospital. He asks Cooper how he's doing, and Cooper answers, I guess he's still alive. And Cooper hugs Nathan and tells him thanks, and he was told that Nathan, saved them both, him and Rachel. And that's when, Nathan goes into it that he didn't save anyone, and he tells Cooper he tried to help him, but he couldn't get him out of there. And then he ran out of air and panicked, and then everything went black just like it did for him.
I'm glad Cooper was just like, you saved us, like, kind of like stop this whole like
doubting himself.
Yeah, and just like stop talking about it like you saved us, like because I'm thinking that too. I'm like, let's just move on for like one storyline. Like, let's move on with this. Like Nathan is really annoying now at this point.
And then Nathan mentions that he heard that Cooper told the detectives that it was his fault, but it wasn't though. Because, Nathan tells Cooper that Haley saw Rachel grab the wheel. And now Cooper looks at him.
Yeah, and he says, like, and he said, nope, it was my fault and stuff. And it's like,
yeah. Well, I put that Cooper looks at him now knowing that he could get caught in his lie if the detective gets Haley's statement. Because you think that he would because she was
there.
Yeah, but he didn't talk to Nathan, the detective, right? It was only Rachel and Cooper he interviewed?
He didn't talk to Nathan.
Yeah.
Lucas, because Lucas was in the water. Karen, Haley, no one that was on that bridge.
It was only Rachel and Cooper.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Because Haley supposedly called 911. Well, if Haley was the first one on scene, you're going to talk to every single person that's there. So, yeah.
So him telling Nathan that no matter what happened on that bridge, it was his fault, like there's no point because no one talked to Nathan anyways.
Yeah.
I just realized that. They should have been interviewed.
Talked to.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Because then Nathan would go, I don't know. And then Haley's like, I got something to say. Maybe. Haley did. And that's why the detective is so interested in what Cooper had to say. Because it would have been, because right now at that point, before he talked to Cooper, it was Haley's version, Rachel's version. And then if Cooper came back, it would be Cooper and Haley versus Rachel. And I think maybe that's what he was going with too, is he had now two different stories. So he's like, Cooper needs to basically side with Haley so we can get you.
Yeah, he still should have interviewed Nathan and Lucas though at least.
But I think Nathan would have said, I don't know. Because he still don't know what happened.
Yeah,
he didn't know. He didn't know that
he got Rachel out.
Well, he didn't know Rachel grabbed the wheel. Haley told him.
Yeah.
So he didn't know any of that. So when the detective would have asked him, he would have been like, I don't know. Plus, he's in shock and everything.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't know, but Haley did. So I think it was Haley's side, like maybe her version.
Maybe she went to the detective because that would make sense why he didn't interview everybody else but talk to her still.
But I think it might have been Haley's version and Rachel's side, and then he wanted Cooper to basically pick a side.
Yeah.
And he did. It was Rachel's.
But then Cooper said that, it was his fault. He knew how old Rachel was and he didn't walk away.
What does that got to do with the accident?
Yeah, so...
They were talking about the accident. What does that have to do with the accident?
Right.
That made no sense either.
Yeah, so I don't know. He tells Nathan that he wouldn't even be alive to say anything if it wasn't for him. And that
I liked when he said
Rachel.
You jumped. Well, yeah, and he said you jumped in, you saved us both. Like,
even if
we're here. Yeah, like kind of like end it, Nathan. And I'm like same thing. I'm like, let's move on.
And then
Peyton calls Derek.
Yeah, well, I was going to mention that Peyton has Ellie's article that she wrote about Peyton that's still hung up above her computer.
All of a sudden, she likes the article.
Yes, I mean it was hung up before, but I think it was in her room hung up, but now it's in her closet with her computer. So. But at least, it shows that she still has Ellie in her mind, too. And, still in her thoughts. But, so her webcam is on.
Why?
When she calls Derek.
Why?
So I think that was another mistake, too. So Psycho Derek knows that she's been trying to contact.
Yeah. So he has something to say.
Yeah. But, this time when he does pick up and she talks and says who she is, now Derek comes up on her, so.
Well, what I thought was weird was, it's going to be like when Psycho Derek comes in, he's going to be like, I know what I said on the phone. Like, I didn't want to talk. Because it kind of sounded like, because we could hear what Derek said, which is basically, don't call me. But I think maybe they were hinting to Psycho Derek could hear over the computer what happened on the phone because we only get her reaction.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he said. Like, Derek doesn't know what he said. Like, Psycho Derek doesn't know what he said on the phone. But we all do.
Speaker.
But we all do.
Right.
But I think because they kind of made it loud enough where it's like, oh, because I'm like, Psycho Derek would never know what Derek said on the phone. We only heard Peyton's reaction.
Yeah, but you can tell that she was hung up on it by her facial reaction, so you could see.
Right, but she never said like when she got the phone, like, okay, like I won't call you, like, because then like that would be a hint of like, okay, now Psycho Derek knows like he doesn't want you to contact him.
Yeah, but
like that kind of thing, because like then Psycho Derek would then be able to use that as like, I know I said I don't want you to talk to me, and it'd be like, well, that makes sense from the phone call, but the problem is he wasn't on speaker, so it makes no sense.
Yeah, but because we never really find out how Ellie knows about Derek. Right?
Yeah, because wasn't it like a long, long time ago, and it never sounded like Ellie and him were in contact ever again.
Yeah.
Did it ever sound like it to you? From like Ellie's stories? Like,
yeah, it seemed like she never even knew Derek either.
No, I mean like the dad. Like,
oh, yeah.
It seemed like it was kind of like she might have been drunk or was high and like slept with them, maybe had like a little fling after, and then that was it. It wasn't like she truly knew too much because she was into that lifestyle, like partying and stuff.
I thought maybe that's how it started. Was she got involved with the band and all that, and the one guy that's Payne's dad, and that's how she got into drugs and everything. And
well, that's how it. You wouldn't know what's happening in someone's life because you're busy doing drugs and stuff. Plus, she was young, so. But I'm saying, like, if you're doing drugs and stuff, you're not really paying attention to somebody's life, and you don't really know this person. And I think that's maybe what happened. She didn't really know him. She just slept with him.
Well, I thought they were in a relationship. It seemed like...
Well, clearly a toxic one. Yeah,
and, because she must have found out that he had a kid already somewhere out there, but I'm just wondering how she had Derek's... Yeah, well, it must have been his mom's phone number. No, not she didn't. She gave Peyton his number, so I'm guessing that was
his.
Yeah, well, his mom's, because how would she know
she stalked Peyton.
Number. Yeah, I don't know.
So she must have stalked Derek, because Derek's older than Peyton. So I'm sure because he clearly lives on his own. We don't hear about his mom, so it's not like my mom said. It's nothing like that. He doesn't talk about his family. So it just doesn't make sense that she would have any information on him. Plus, this was back in the day where you couldn't really look up people's numbers.
Like unless it was a phone book.
Right, but I'm sure his cell phone number probably was not in the phone book.
Yeah, because Derek didn't only hung up when she said my mom's name was Ellie Harp. That's when he hung up. So I'm wondering, like, if they knew each other, we just never got any background story about that, because maybe that's how she has his current number.
I'm thinking
maybe she knew that her ex and his dad like abandoned him, so she went to go check on him too, because she knows what it's like because she abandoned a kid herself in a way. So maybe because she was watching Payne, so maybe she watched Derek too, because she was watching two kids.
No, I'm thinking what happened was, their dad was with Derek's mom, and then Ellie came around as this fun party girl, and the dad cheated, had an affair with Ellie, and then had Peyton, and of course,
I feel like Derek and Payne talk about that later. I just don't remember what they said.
I think he said that the dad abandoned them too. And I think it was probably because of Ellie. Like, think about it. If your parent cheated, you're not going to give a crap about their mistress. You're going to go, oh, like, I'd be pissed. So, like, it makes sense that, like, he would not want to ever know Ellie if this is the truth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, get away from me. Like, you have issues with my father, then that's on you, but get away from me, because I have no part of that.
Right. And then at the school, in the parking lot, Lucas pulls up, or why are you sitting? And he asks him if he needs a ride.
Oh my God, Lucas Scott.
Yeah. It was kind of funny how he kind of trapped Whitey.
No, it wasn't funny.
Well, because he blew out the air in his
It
tire.
wasn't funny.
Well, it was. Why do you think it wasn't funny?
It wasn't funny because, like, we're adults now.
Mhm.
If a kid did that,
Mhm.
I would be upset.
Yeah.
I would be Whitey.
Yeah.
Because Whitey even said, I don't even have a spare tire. Like, what if he has to go somewhere?
Yeah.
And you are basically trapping me, and like that is rude on 100 million different levels. I would be upset too. Like some idiot kid is, really, like, you're stupid. Once again, Lucas. Like, what if Whitey truly has somewhere to go, an emergency, and now he can't because of your stupid butt? I'm like, no, I would be upset too. Like, I'm an adult now too. It might have been funny when you're a kid, but as an adult, like, no, we have places to go, people to see, and you're being stupid and immature to actually blow someone's tire. That's just stupid. And he doesn't even have a spare, like he said, which is going to take time now to get and then to fix. And so now is Lucas going to just drive him around now everywhere he has to go?
I don't know. They didn't really show that.
Exactly, because he just said he. So now Whitey. That's why I was on Whitey's side when he was upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just crazy that he had to do that just to get him to see skills, whereas Keith just talked to him about Lucas to watch him play.
Well, would you listen
to
to
a couple of times?
But would you listen to a high school student, or would you listen to someone that's been your friend for 20 years?
Right. Yeah.
Like Keith was an adult, Lucas is a kid, so of course Whitey is going to listen to an adult, as he should.
Yeah. So then they go to the river court. Yeah, Skills is there. I think. Was he alone? I can't.
No, he was playing with Bergie.
Okay, I didn't put that down.
Because they were doing one-on-one, and all Lucas wants to do is like show him skills, and all Whitey wants to do is complain about his tire, and I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, so Lucas is, giving notes to Whitey about skills and his skills.
And then he wants to go to college and everything, and but again, Whitey should have been like, well, that's too late. Like, oh, okay, especially if this is March, Cynthia.
Yeah.
March is when basketball ends. Again, you can't just be thrown in for a couple games and then go and get yourself a scholarship.
Yeah.
That's just not realistic.
I mean, I could see Skills joining the team if they truly had nobody else and they needed that.
But the scouts would not come to you.
I'm just saying
because you haven't played the season.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I could see that would be the reason why he would join the team only if they're got this.
How does that help the scholarships?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah, and so Whitey does tell Lucas he's going to change the tire.
Like, okay, so like for the scholarship, like, oh, like if a scout talks to Whitey, like talking about like skills, he's gonna go, I barely know the kid. He hasn't played for me that long. And then they would know that. So it doesn't make any sense.
And then Lucas said that state rules allow for roster moves until Friday. I don't know what that means.
Probably maybe until game day? I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess Skills is just making the deadline, I guess. That's what Lucas was saying.
I don't know, unless it's you can do this until like a couple games before the championship, maybe. Otherwise, you're only using people for the championship to win. Maybe that's what it is. Like, you have to play a certain amount of games in order to be considered to play for the championship, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Because otherwise, I don't understand it.
Yeah, and then Brooke goes into the cafe telling Haley she needs to talk to her. And then Haley says things are crazy right now. And this is where Brooke tells Haley that Rachel caught her making maternity clothes. So right away, Haley knows what this means.
Yeah, Haley's pregnant.
Yeah, but like, why? Like, Rachel wouldn't think that Haley's pregnant.
No, but now she thinks Brooke is.
But either way, Haley freaks out hearing this, and she brings Brooke into the kitchen to talk to her, and says, on the list of people that should know about this pregnancy, Rachel's not at the top. And she asks Brooke if Rachel suspected anything, and Brooke says she doesn't think so. Haley reconfirms that if it's just her and Brooke who know, and Brooke, nods her head yes, and Haley says that they should just keep it that way, because she thinks that's for the best, and Brooke says she thinks she'd feel better if she didn't even know about it. So...
Well, and then it was weird because Haley's like, it's too late for that. And it's like, huh?
Yes.
Give it Brooke. Like, what?
Yeah.
None of that made sense.
So, like, it could have been taken as, like, a comedy thing. Like, Brooke was saying, like, I didn't want to even know about my own pregnancy.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, so... Yeah, but, you know,
didn't
they're
come
still
off.
making it seem like...
didn't come off right.
Yeah. That was so funny, but,
Well, then Haley's like, well, you know, did you and Lucas ever talk about what would happen? And she's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells her about, you know, like last year and stuff, like he felt trapped and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Haley asked that because she's worried about what Nathan's going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because it has nothing to do with Lucas.
Yeah, because Brooke
at all.
Yeah, Brooke asks the same question to her about Nathan, and she says, yeah, remember when we spent that night together and he freaked out that she wasn't the pill? Yeah. So that wasn't really the answer, you know, like, because Brooke was asking, like, what would you guys do if you know, she got pregnant, but Haley didn't answer.
Brooke, she's pregnant, though.
Yeah. But I'm just saying Haley didn't give her an answer. She just mentioned the fight from before. And then Haley tells Brooke that she has to get back to work because it's been crazy.
Okay, so this is what threw me off was Brooke said, like, is it going to be okay and stuff? And, like, again, hinting that Brooke's pregnant, like, trying to get her friend to reassure her, like, you know, basically, like, we're all going to be here. Everything's going to be okay kind of thing. But then I don't understand why Brooke still would give a shit. Like, if Brooke is not pregnant and it's Haley, why does Brooke care so much if it's going to be okay? That is for Nathan and Haley to deal with and for you to just support and love her, and that's it. I don't understand why we're making it why Brooke cares so much in this episode of Haley being pregnant. I don't understand it. If you're not pregnant, why do you care if it's going to be okay? Yeah. So much if it's not you.
Yeah, she should be the one telling Haley that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, like, I got your back. I'll love you no matter what. Like, I don't understand why.
Well, she couldn't be that specific because they're still trying to make it look like it's Brooke, too.
But again, why does Brooke care? Did you understand that comment?
No, not really.
Because all Haley says is, yeah, like, all positive. Yeah, that'd be great. And it's like...
Yeah, because Haley was going to walk back out, but then she went, you know, turned around and hugged Brooke, comforting her, so...
I know, again, making it look like... But then when you find out in a couple episodes that it's Haley, it's like, then what was the point of all this?
Yeah.
That's what I'm just trying to do, is figure out, because we all know it's Haley, but I'm just trying to figure out why Brooke cares.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
And then Haley walks back out to Deb, you know, going to talk to her. And Deb must not have seen her walk up, or what, because Deb was going through her purse and her hand slipped and pushed the gun out of her purse and off the counter. And then it drops, you know, right at the right angle to make it go off.
Okay, what if it hit somebody? What if it hit, you know, pregnant Haley? I mean, there's a lot that could have happened.
Yeah, because it did go through the front glass door, but there was a... person sitting kind of right next to the door, in front of the door.
There were people walking around.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, everyone but Deb basically drops down out of instinct, and Deb just smiles and says, oops.
No doubt.
Like, yeah, that's just an easy mistake anybody can make, yeah.
Oh my God.
And then Dan is in the office watching the news about the bridge incident, and Nathan is, you know, with being the son of the mayor of Tree Hill. You know, they're mentioning that on the news, and the news anchor says that Dan campaigned, you know, of his family being one of his biggest qualities, and then a clip of him talking is shown. He introduces himself, name, occupation, school board member, and murderer. And family first, that's his motto. Then Dan rewinds the TV, but this time, instead of saying murderer, he says father. So now he's even hearing his own self calling him a murderer, which I thought was something. Because you think he wouldn't, like, of all things, he wouldn't do that to himself.
Yeah, but if you're that scared of people finding out, and you're that, I don't know what the best word is, like, paranoid, I guess you would think anything and anyone, and even yourself. Like, he's even kind of thinking, like, of for himself, too. Like, that he's going to get caught and stuff. So, I don't know, I guess maybe if you're that paranoid, maybe you would think like that. I don't know.
Yeah. And then Rachel goes to see Cooper the next day to see Nathan already there. He tells her Cooper's gone. So apparently Nathan's just sticking around after Cooper.
This is weird. So Cooper had just left them a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, so she could have walked past him.
Exactly. Easily. My thing is, because he said he's out of Tree Hill, and I was like, what? Then have you been hanging around for the past hour? Like just staring at his bed? Yeah. That's what made no sense, first of all. I was like, Nathan. Plus, it seemed like it was in the emergency room when Cooper had...
I think it had been his room because he was there for a while.
But it looked like it was a curtain, where before he had an actual room with a door.
Maybe they moved him to a different room.
Moved him to the emergency room? They would move him out the door.
Maybe that was IC, and then they moved him to a regular room afterward.
No, he was in a room.
Oh, maybe he was like an IC room, and then they moved him to a regular room, I mean.
He was not, this looked like the emergency room where they only have the, like in Grey's Anatomy, they only have the curtain. And that's it. It didn't seem like it was a room.
I don't know.
Because, he's standing in front of the curtain, which to hide, like, is that Cooper he's standing there talking to. And it's not. Because there's other people behind them. It's just a curtain. Yeah. So it threw me off. I'm like, what?
I don't know. But
so why is Nathan just standing there? It made no sense.
And I just want to point out too, like Deb never even went to see him at all, and he was there for some days.
And that's her. Well,
I mean, obviously she's high out of her mind to even think about.
She's able. Well, she did go see Nathan, so maybe she saw Cooper when he was.
Yeah,
I'm sure she visited well.
Yeah, hopefully. To say too, the drama queen girls point out maybe Cooper told Nathan to stay to tell Rachel that he left because he knew she would come back eventually. But even if that's so, the hospital won't allow Nathan to stick around like that.
Because they need the bed.
Yeah, so.
It does make sense.
Plot-wise, that would make sense, but not realistically. And then Rachel tells Nathan, she's sorry for the way she acted at the reception and everything else. And then says she knows that he saved her life and that she's going to find a way to say thank you. Nathan tells her she doesn't have to do that. And Rachel says she wants to, and she gets closer to him, like looking to his eyes. Creepily, and then leans in to kiss him, but then he moves his head, so she ends up kind of kissing his cheek. And then she tells him that he has Cooper's eyes. Like all of a sudden, she's now focused on him.
I don't like Rachel.
Yeah. And then, walks out with giving him another look before stepping out. So uh-oh. And then at Peyton's, she turns on her webcam again. And then she sits on her bed and makes a video, not like a video, but just like.
Well, because she's also on her podcast, so it's not the podcast then.
Yeah. I think it was just her webcam, like the website for her webcam. It's just like a live feed maybe. Because it didn't sound like she was recording a video to post later, but yeah, so she's telling the viewers if they've been listening to her podcast, then they know a lot about her. So in the show, she's still doing her podcast. We just don't see her do it, but she mentioned it here.
Well, then she said she put up her MySpace.
Well, yeah, I was talking about the podcast still, because I told you that they actually did release actual episodes of her on the podcast, but soon after the shooting happened, she just kind of stopped.
Well, she should have.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but in the show she didn't, but in kind of the real life podcast she did. So
they forgot that plot.
Yeah, so that's why I thought because I told you before, I thought she kept going a lot later than what they put out. So I guess they just didn't see the point in putting out these episodes on iTunes anymore. I guess for people to listen to, maybe the fans weren't that interested, probably. But yeah. But anyways, yeah. So she has a brother.
Okay, I would be upset. I'd be upset if I'm a private person and my so-called half-sibling is out there telling basically telling where I live, my name, everything. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Clearly Derek, the real Derek, is a private person. We all know that.
Right, yeah.
And the fact that she is telling
doxing him
everything, I'd be so upset.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? This would make me not want to talk to you ever because you're putting me out there for the world to come after me. You're crazy, Peyton. The real Derek is not going to want to talk to you.
Yeah, so she tries to, talk directly to him
Well, she's not talking. She's talking to the world.
Yeah, well, she was before, but then she like looks to the camera. She's like talking to Derek because she says, Derek.
Again, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: make yourself a little sign video, send it to him. Don't. Like, clearly you have his address, so like go take him like a little tape and put it on his front door. Like, it makes no sense that you're going to put him on blast on a stupid video. And Derek is just too mature and good for this. Like, I don't like Peyton for this.
Yeah,
because again, if you're a private person, you're gonna hate that person that just exposed you.
Yeah. Because she was trying to make it like she understood, like, if he didn't want to let her in, because she was the same way with Ellie and everything, and if he ever wants to talk, then she, can reach out to her like that, trying to...
Nope.
Like,
he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He said basically, don't ever call me again. So that was the end of Peyton.
Yeah. And then at Karen, she's thrown away in a crib. It was Lucas's, to be exact. Wasn't this supposed to be the same crib that she just used for Jake when he was working at the cafe for Jenny, and it didn't look that beat up?
Yeah, maybe Jenny beat it up.
I think she was in it maybe once, though. Because
she was in every time he went to work.
But
it was always off camera. No, he worked there. It was just off camera every time he went to work, clearly.
It seemed like he was only there for like
It's like Nathan. Days. He went to work once at the whatever shop that was in the mall, and that was it. But clearly he worked there. We just never saw it.
Maybe, yeah. But so Haley comes walking up. She thinks she's doing a spring clean, but Karen says she explained she thought she'd try to use the crib again, but realized that it's a third-hand crib from 17 years ago. So then Haley tells her congratulations, and they hug.
And then she wants to talk about Deb and what happened. It was good.
Well, first she kind of talks to her about how it's going to be easier for her to be having a baby now than it was at 17,
Because again, now we're making it look like Haley's pregnant, because Haley's wanting to know, like, oh, it was probably hard at 17. Because obviously she's 17.
Yeah, and then Karen tells Haley, like, I wouldn't just, usually...
Yeah, it was weird, because Haley's asking questions as if Haley's pregnant, wants to know these things, because she is. But then she ignores all signs and goes right to that Lucas found a pregnancy test in Brooke's purse. So they knew it was Brooke's purse then. So all this time of like questioning whose purse it was, they knew it was Brooke's purse, which is weird because they didn't know that. And then yeah, so Haley then says, like, she doesn't know. It's like, what? You do know.
Well, didn't Lucas say something that he knew it was Brooke's purse because her perfume was in it? So then he must have told Karen that was definitely her purse. But yeah, so then
but yeah, I just thought it was weird because like Haley's like, oh, like basically like, oh, I don't know that. And I'm like, you do know. It's you that's pregnant.
So then they go inside to talk about Deb.
She knows she's the one that's pregnant. And she's just playing it off again. I'm like, it's so annoying.
Right.
And but yeah, so she goes in to talk about Deb. It was good.
Yeah, I think she was just trying to say she didn't know about Brooke, just so, because if Haley told Karen that, no, Brooke's not pregnant, then Karen would be questioning, like, who is? And then maybe Haley might get too nervous and Karen would know something's up, so then she'll be...
So you're gonna make Brooke take the fall?
Yeah, basically.
Good friend. Bad friend.
Yeah. Then, yeah, so they go inside to talk about Deb, but then when Karen goes to see Deb...
This was fun.
It's like she's kind of hearing about the whole thing for the first time, because she's like, you have a gun? Like, Haley didn't even tell her that. I thought she would. Especially if she went to go to her house, talk to her about it,
Well, she went... No, well, we didn't hear everything she said.
I know.
She didn't know that she basically called a woman fat.
I know. I'm just saying Haley didn't say that the most important part was the gun.
She probably did when they went inside. They were walking, and the scene was cut as usual.
No, hold on, let me see, because Karen goes to the cafe where the door is made out of wood as a temporary replacement. She asked Deb what happened. Haley came by and told her that, but then Deb interrupts her to say that, Haley, she knew she was a little bitch that couldn't keep her mouth shut, and Karen's shocked.
She did tell her. No, she's shocked because she called her a bitch.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just going through my notes.
No, I'm just saying that Karen knows what happened clearly. She's just, you would be shocked too if you go to your own business and the door is now wood. And because someone, your business partner shot the door, and she wanted to hear it from Deb herself what happened. Because she wanted to see if Deb would own up to it, and clearly Deb wouldn't. And that's when she was like, well, Haley told me. And that's when she said, little bitch couldn't keep her mouth shut. And it's like, and then because she said, Deb, I'm not playing games with your wacky ass.
Right, well, I'm just saying because Deb then explains that she needs the gun for protection, and then this is apparent news to Karen because she didn't find out from Haley when, Deb broke the door with the phone.
No, I think she was confused at why she said she needed it for protection.
Oh, okay, I just assumed like the whole gun was the whole, brand new to her.
Because clearly that's why Haley went to Karen to tell her the most important thing was Deb shot up the cafe. That's clearly why she went there.
Yeah, so Deb says it was an accident, and then Karen tells Deb to give her the gun, and they fight over that. And because it's in her purse, and
then Deb said that basically that she's leaving. And then she spills her pills.
Yeah, because
they're fighting over it.
Yeah, fighting over the purse, and the pills and the gun were in the purse, so it spilled out and dropped on the floor.
Yep.
So now Karen, knows it's more than just the gun.
Then Deb had to pick up all the pills. And I'm sorry, but those pills are now nasty because they've been on the floor and everybody's been, ooh.
Yeah, public place, yeah. And, but she was desperate to keep them no matter what. Maybe if they were in the kitchen and they fell down the sink, then
she probably still take them. She just ate somebody's food. She'd be desperate enough to take them.
Saying if they fell in the sink, then Karen could have just turned the sink on and they would have went down the drain. Then Deb would have no choice but to not get them back. But yeah. So Deb says she's had a little slip, and Karen says that wasn't a little slip, and Deb's not taking this serious, just laughing. And
I did like when she was talking about like she's not going to have Deb destroy her 17-year-old business. So it's like we're finally realizing that she's had it for 17 years.
Yeah, as long as Lucas has been alive. But so they didn't mention Trick though. Are they still managing Trick? We haven't seen it for a minute.
I mean,
I know we will in the future, but it just seems like they don't mention it anymore, as if that's not their other business.
It is, but she's talking about this business because she tried to destroy this business.
I'm just surprised she didn't say like, and you're not allowed in Trick either because you might ruin that place. No, I just thought maybe she would mention it specifically.
Since it's closed down right now, they're not really talking about it. This is the business she's worried about.
Yeah, but Deb says, Karen can't, fire her from their partnership and everything because she quits. And then grabs the pills from the floor and goes, and even like the last one's an Altoid, but Deb still picks it up and puts it on her purse too. And then Lucas goes to see Nathan at the apartment, and he asks Nathan if he's okay because he sounded cryptic on the phone. And Nathan says he needs to know what happened on the bridge. And Lucas tells Nathan that he saw a lot more than he did, and Nathan says he's not so sure about that, and he explains that when he swam into the car and he got trapped, he panicked. He didn't save anyone. As a matter of fact, somebody saved him. He asks Lucas if it was him, and Lucas says no. Nathan says it had to be because he was trapped in the car and he ran out of air. And unless they're both dead right now, and Lucas tells him people black out all the time in situations.
And see, that was like my thing, like before this scene even happened. At the very beginning, when Nathan's like trying to talk to Haley about it, I'm just like, dude, you probably blocked it out and everything, like, because people do black out with that stuff. So like, I understand that you blocked it all out. It makes sense. But also, okay, so when the scene was happening, I looked around at the kitchen. The cupboards look new. They don't look like the wood cupboards that once were there. They kind of look reddish.
I didn't notice.
So I was like, so now we got new cupboards too? Like a whole new kitchen. Like a whole new apartment. Right. Wow, Nathan has a lot of money. Because I saw that. I said, it's not those wood ones that were there. These look kind of reddish and brand new. I was like, okay. So like season 4 of Some We Had Money, but yet it's not like it's new school year where over summer you did this. Not talked about. Okay.
Right. So then Nathan says, or Lucas says that there was no one else, just them.
Then he said that he saw Keith.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised he actually said that.
Yeah.
Plus, okay, my thing is too, why would Keith, like, if it's true, why would Keith save Nathan? Like, and not Lucas. Like,
well, Lucas didn't need saving, though. It was Nathan that was stuck.
it's just weird. Like, of all people, you were not close to Keith. It's just so.
I mean, they did bond when he was working at the auto shop.
But he worked there for like a week. Like, it's not like he worked there for that long.
Yeah, but that was still his nephew, so.
And he didn't even know.
Yeah,
he knew Lucas. Nathan was not on his radar.
Well, as an aunt, I would save any of my nieces and nephews if it.
Okay, but Keith is different. Remember when he went to go to the basketball game that he's never clearly went to, and Dan said, "Oh, you're coming to see your nephew?" Isn't like Nathan and him? Isn't he's only there to see Lucas? All the times Nathan played, he never went to go see Nathan. He shows up to go see Lucas play. They're on the same team. Why aren't you going to see Nathan? This is your nephew. Like, this is my point. Is you're friends with Whitey, not gonna go see Nathan, but all of a sudden you're like, it just makes no sense that he's gonna go see. They're not even close. Nathan even admitted that when at Rachel's cabin. Remember, he told Lucas, "I wish, like, I had time with him and I got to know him." He admitted that he didn't know Keith.
I thought he said he wished he had more time.
Yeah. But he didn't know him, basically. Like, he wished he had that time that, like, Lucas had, which was his whole life. He didn't have that. He said he was happy to get to know him for the little bit that he did. He didn't know him like that. We weren't close.
Yeah, well, like I said, I have nieces. I have, like, I don't call them step nieces and nephews, but I do have them. And even though I'm not close with them, I would still save them no matter what if they were in danger, so. But my thing is, like, we get the flashback again of Nathan underwater, but now we see a bright light there, so they were trying to, like, make it look like he did see something. So I don't
saw the light.
Yeah, because so he saw Cooper, and now he saw the light. They're just, like, adding on to things he saw underwater.
No, I think Nathan is adding on. Yeah. We're not.
I know,
because it's Nathan's flashback.
Yeah.
And so it's Nathan coming up with more stuff.
I know, we see the flashback after he's already, like, added to the story, so that's why I don't like how they're doing that.
It's Nathan's version, though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, if they show the flashback first and then Nathan says, "Oh, he saw Keith," then that would make sense, but from our perspective, it just looks like he's adding on his own without us knowing what he's seeing already.
We're seeing what he's seeing.
I know, it's just, like, not in the right order that makes it make sense.
Yeah, but Nathan just keeps coming up with more things. I think it makes sense for his little flashbacks. I'm just tired of seeing them.
I just like the order of it all. But then the next scene, Lucas is with Peyton, who tells him he's been quiet because they're in her car waiting for Brooke.
These two are spending way too much time together. And Brooke is not showing up. I don't know where these people are coming from.
And Lucas says that he was saying about Nathan. He told him that he saw Keith in the river, and he was trapped in the limo, and Keith saved him. And Payne asks, what did he say to Nathan? And Lucas just says that Keith is dead, and like as if she forgot, So you can tell, because we didn't see Lucas's reaction when Nathan told him, so you can see here that Lucas probably did the same thing, kind of shut it down and told Nathan like, "Oh, that's not what happened," because that's not possible. Kind of like downplaying it. So I'm sure that probably made Nathan feel bad. We just don't see that from him, even though we should have if that was Lucas's reaction, So then he says he can't believe how much of their lives changed since freshman year. They didn't even know each other freshman year, so I'm kind of surprised they said that. But
and it's weird that they said freshman year.
Yeah.
Because the show didn't even start until junior year.
Right.
So it's not even like they said sophomore year, like before we met, sort of thing.
Yeah. And then Lucas brings up how he used to watch Peyton, which was creepy. And she asks him when, and he says freshman year, sophomore year, both summers actually. And she asks, what did he watch? And he says,
I thought it was weird when he said, "I used to watch you" because of that little handle, "watch you."
Oh.
Yeah. That's what threw me, huh?
Yeah, I actually didn't think that, but
I did. As soon as he said it, I was like, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, but that was creepy how he said that he was mostly watching her legs when he's trying to get her best friend back,
Yeah, he likes Peyton. He's just dumb and doesn't know it.
Yeah. And then, she hits him in the arm when he says that her legs were chickeny. And
he's always said that.
Yeah. And he says, because where he was hiding, they were pretty awesome. And, that's just plain on creepy. And then Payne says that she's not sure that's a compliment.
I like when they bring up the brother.
Mm-hmm.
And, and apparently, Lucas already knows because he says, it sucks that your brother hung up on you, but it's like, so she had already told him?
I guess, yeah, we didn't see it. Maybe on the ride to the mall.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
That was dropped and picked up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she says she gets it, the fear of letting people in, getting close to somebody, and then it just not working out. And then there's silence until Payne is like, anyway, almost time for Brooke. And she asks if he's ready, and Lucas says he thinks that she should go and patch things up with her, and, because they've had a lifelong friendship, and Payne tells him that he loves her in a joking way. And then says, like, he does. She reminds him that he said it himself, he can't help who you love. And then thanks him for thinking of her, but this is her birthday present for Brooke. And asks her if she's sure, and she says yeah, and she'll wait for him. And then after he gets out of the car, Peyton repeats that she'll wait for him, like as if to wait for him to move on from Brooke, basically, do you think?
No, I got it as I'll wait for you in the car.
Oh, okay.
Like if it don't work out when you see Brooke or something.
Just the way she said it to herself just seemed like she was implying it was something different. And at the apartment where Haley asks Nathan if he thinks that his mom was a spy or something.
Okay, so she is so obviously worried, like this is like her top thing, right? Is because his mom's got a gun and stuff, and like Nathan's not even like he didn't really question any of it. He's just like, this is who my parents are. Okay, what I thought was weird was Haley is going on about like she's got a gun and stuff, and I'm like, it's weird because like of the time difference, because back then, I guess you didn't really carry guns. Like people didn't really carry guns. But now a lot of people carry guns. It's not a big deal if somebody has a gun because you can carry now. But back then, 20 years ago, I guess, it was a big deal.
Well, I took it as she knows that Deb shouldn't have a gun because it went off like that.
No, but how she said it, she's got a gun. And I'm like, Haley, everyone's got guns now.
Not everybody, but
well, there's a lot of people that can't, like, you can carry guns. It's not like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Like, but I guess 20 years ago it was. Because I was also like, oh yeah, this was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But then, she's going on and like, and Nathan's just like, yeah. Like, yeah, I'll talk to her. It's like, okay. And I did like how he said, like, I'm not going to let my parents, like, mess up my chance, like, to get out of here and stuff. It was just kind of weird because he said him and not, like, them. It's like, you do know you're married, right?
Yeah, so he's just going to let his parents deal with their stuff.
Yeah, and he said, like, his mom's an adult and everything. And he was tired of dealing with his parents' problems. And well, clearly Haley wants to. Yeah.
It's just she thinks that Deb, it's not safe for Deb to have a gun if she's having it go off like that. And
well, yeah, but now she's not. Now she's not working at the cafe, so it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Because now she can have it go off in her own house.
Yeah. So he's just focused on his scholarship and get away from both of his lunatic parents. He says
that was funny.
And then he says, should his mom have a gun? No, but he's not going to let her stupidity or anything else in his way.
I did like when he is like, I'm gonna just let them be, and they are who they are, and I liked that because I'm like, no, because a lot of times Nathan would focus on his parents, and it drove me nuts because I'm like, he's the kid, as with Lucas, and it's like time that he focuses on himself, and I agree, but also, it was always just kind of funny because like, yeah, there's a baby coming.
Yeah, that's why when he said that he's not going to let anything get in his way.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's a baby.
And Haley hears this, so she's already going to start building in her head that he's not ready either. So, I mean, she probably feels right more than him, but now she feels like he's definitely not going to.
Well, he said in their fight that a baby would ruin his basketball career.
Yeah.
Remember, he said that back then in season 3. So when they had that fight,
Mm-hmm.
And so he didn't like it then. So he don't like it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then Dan goes to visit Karen, and she tells him that they can't keep doing this.
And I loved, okay, so first of all, it's creepy that he's just wandering in the house again.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, she doesn't even like turn around to him.
Right.
I was like, she trusts him that much. But also, I liked when she said, like, you're not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
The guy to like be there for her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you weren't the guy with Lucas, you're not gonna be the guy here. I loved that she said that.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he's showing he is that guy because he redid the crib, in one day?
I guess.
Also, he was watching her throw it out. Like, he's just hanging around her house.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah, stalking's just common in this show.
No, it's stalking for Dan.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie was watching Peyton and...
Okay, yeah, the creepy parents, yeah.
Yeah, and then Derek's watching Peyton. Like, everybody's watching Peyton, basically, because Lucas just said he was watching Peyton, but... Yeah, so...
Well, it's easy to watch her. She's got a webcam.
Yeah.
But it was just weird, because I'm like, you're just hanging around her house, and so that she threw the crib out, and that she wants it back? Like, she would want it back for this one?
Yeah.
That's weird.
You think that, because he loved a teddy bear in this one too, but you think that he'd just go out and buy one for her, like the most expensive one, thinking that she would love it, and I feel like they could have done that too, but
He knows she wouldn't want that. She'd want this one.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that he would actually know that.
Deb is the one that would want the expensive one. Like, she doesn't.
Yeah, because she doesn't have that sentimental value, because that was her first kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later on, Brooke and Rachel are at a club. Rachel says...
Did you see her change her face when she saw it? Of like, oh, I guess there's a chance.
He cares, yeah.
Yeah, like there's a chance now. It's like, no, let's go back to when you were saying he wasn't that guy. To that kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, let's not let Dan in. But of course, he's trying everything he can to win her back, which is weird.
Yeah. So then Rachel...
So does he even love Karen at all? Of all the crap he said to her, of how much, he like belittled her, talked trash, said words to her, like, of all the stuff he said to her and treated her, like, and now you're gonna like act like you love her, but it's really isn't it only to prove like he's gonna be there for Keith's baby because of what he did to Keith? Like, isn't that the only reason? Or is he now starting to truly have feelings for Karen?
I don't know. I think maybe it could be both, maybe, but maybe I would think it'd be more because of Keith.
I thought the whole thing was because of Keith, but I'm like, maybe he, in this time period, maybe he's starting to have feelings for Karen too. Like, it's all coming back to you, sort of thing.
Yeah, and maybe he's just trying to think like what Keith would do. So he's trying to like do exactly what Keith would do, like everything. I mean, he didn't try to date her right off the bat when she was pregnant.
This one, he is.
Or soon after she had Lucas, but yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Because I think at first he was trying, but I think now he might actually start having feelings for her.
Yeah, so I don't know if the girls have Paul on later on to explain this, like what he thinks that Dan was thinking. Yeah, I'm just saying because you heard the podcast ahead. So does he ever mention if Dan actually had feelings for Karen, or
I don't know. We gotta watch the show.
Okay, well, I'm just saying because I know he's probably back on there, so
I don't know. We gotta watch the show.
Yeah,
the show will either tell us or not.
Yeah, I'm just saying because sometimes the podcast they answer our questions too.
Yeah, but we can also watch the episodes ourselves and see.
Yeah, well, because you know how loose end they can be with things.
Yeah, but nobody would know the truth except for the writers.
Right.
But yeah, I just was like, oh my god, damn.
And then later on, Brooke and Rachel are at a club. Rachel says to Brooke that she brought her to the club and filled her hideous, Spice Girl mug with alcohol, and she hasn't even touched it. And she asks how, how she spends all of her, if this is how she spends all of her birthdays, and Brooke says no. Usually she spends it with Peyton, but not this year. And then,
Oh my God.
mm,
Rachel. So when, she's like, oh, like what she do and stuff, and Brooke's telling her, she kissed him, and she wanted her to like confess her feelings and stuff, as in Brooke, and Rachel right away goes, so why didn't you? And I'm like, dang, we're siding with Peyton. And then when she said like, so basically Peyton would hide her feelings if you asked her to. And she goes, that seems like a really good friend to me. I'm like, Rachel, oh my God, she is on Team Peyton.
mm-hmm.
I'm like, what is this? Like, Rachel's supposed to be like all supportive of Brooke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like clearly Brooke needs you to trash talk her. And she's not. She is like still going to be on Team Peyton over there. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What have we turned into, Rachel?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want Brooke to like hate on you? Because clearly she can't really, because she'd be homeless. But I was just like, wow. Like, it's Brooke's birthday. You're supposed to cheer her up and you're going to side with Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she's a good friend to Peyton, right?
Mm-hmm.
As in Rachel.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was funny when she said all that.
Right.
And then, well, and I did like that she said about the library. She goes, basically, like, it's a pass, like, if you're going to die. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, I kind of agree, too.
Yeah, so I thought maybe this was Rachel changing,
And being on Peyton's side?
No, just defending Peyton, and not taking Brooke's side, even though...
Well, she's never really taken Brooke's side. Remember, she always tried to, like, win Peyton over from the start. She's never been Team Brooke for anything.
Well, she let her move in with her, so you think...
That was it, because she felt bad.
Well, you think that she's starting... Because she took her to the club for her birthday, because nobody else could do anything else for her, so...
Well, I think she wanted to go... I think this was for her. I don't think this was for Brooke. Because she wants to hook up with somebody, and Brooke's like, isn't this too soon?
Mm-hmm.
So I think she took her to the club for herself.
Yeah, she did. I'm just saying, when this conversation, she didn't have to defend Peyton, because she...
But she did, because she's Team Peyton.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it looked like she was just defending Peyton because she didn't do anything wrong, really, so that's why she spoke up.
It was just weird. I'm like, clearly Brooke, though, needs you to trash talk her.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. You're defending her.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't, like, saying, like, Brooke's right in this.
It's like, she wasn't going, I know, can you believe her? Like, she wasn't doing any of that Brooke needed her to do.
Mm-hmm.
She was just, what? Like, she's right.
Yeah, so
and it's like,
saying, like,
huh?
It seemed like she was changing here, being a better person.
She's not. She's always liked Peyton.
Well,
she's never really liked Brooke.
They're never really friends either. So.
No, but if she had to pick one, she wouldn't have picked Brooke.
Yeah.
To be friends with, she would have picked Peyton.
Maybe, but Peyton didn't really want to be friends with her, so...
Well, Rachel didn't either. Brooke didn't either. She just kind of has to because she has nobody else.
Yeah.
Who's she going to go live with? Nathan and Haley?
Yeah, plus Rachel was the one that made Peyton drunkenly go into Lucas's hotel room.
Yeah, to sabotage Brooke.
Yeah, so...
Like, it's all to sabotage Brooke.
Yeah, but now Peyton hates Rachel, so... Rachel had no reason to stand up for Peyton, so...
So did Brooke. Brooke hated her for that, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then the guys are, they show up from across the bar, and she tells Brooke since it's her birthday, she can have first pick. And, Brooke's not into it, so then Rachel ends up just ditching her and leaving her alone now on her birthday there. Yeah, so she tells her not to wait up and goes up to talk to the guys. And then Lucas is still waiting for Brooke at the store, but now it's closing. And for some reason, they don't kick him out, even though the lights are turned off.
And for some reason, Peyton can just walk in when they're closing.
Yeah. So she tells him that she's sorry. She thought Brooke would show.
I did not believe for a second she would show.
Mm-hmm. But, look at it this way. She didn't know he was going to be there, so there's still hope for him, just not hope for her and Brooke. And then he puts his arm around her to comfort her as they walk out together. And then when outside, Peyton takes something out of her purse and hands it to Lucas, saying she stole it from him. So I didn't like that just because the tradition was for her and Brooke, and she was like trying to see if that was still a thing. But she apparently took something for him when she was like as they were walking out, or like when did she even take that if she just walked in?
I didn't mind her taking it for Lucas. I thought it was cute. But of course. Okay, so when they first walk out, I'm like, okay, like, it's okay, right? But then when he puts his arm around her, I was like, because first of all, like, you never do know who's standing outside, right? And then the fact that you're going to do it, and then of course, Brooke is watching.
So, but didn't they say she was kind of close, but they didn't see her?
It seemed like she was far away.
But and then she's wearing red too, so you think she'd stick out more. But
they weren't paying attention. They didn't even look in that direction. They came out, turned, and went to the car. They were too focused on themselves.
And then back in Payne's car, she asks Lucas what was his best birthday ever. And he says when he was 12, his mom and Keith surprised him with tickets to the Duke Carolina game, and they made a weekend out of it. And it was cool because it was the first time they felt like a real family.
Days all into that's the perfect family.
And he gave anything to have it back. And he asked her about her favorite birthday. And she says it was her 8th birthday when her mom was still alive. And that's the last time that they were a real family. And she said she gave anything to have that back. So, now it's a parallel for both of them. The opposite there. But still when they had their families. And then Peyton asks Lucas if he wants her to drive him by Rachel's because maybe Brooke's there. And he starts narrating here, saying that there are moments in our lives when we're at a crossroads. And then out of narration, he tells Peyton that it's okay, he doesn't need to go there, but asks her to drop him off at the river court because he does his, best healing there. And then Lucas narrates again about being at the crossroads while Rachel leaves her one-night stand. And Lucas says at the crossroad, we could be afraid, confused, without a road map. And that's, kind of like Rachel, like she's definitely lost and confused. Now that Cooper is gone. And then when Lucas says the choices we make in these moments can define them for the rest of their days, we see Brooke looking at her baby book, or her life book, really, because it's her whole life. She added to it. But then we see Dan stop at that red light where he sees the red paint on the truck that says murder. And then when he gets out of his car to get a look at it again.
There's nothing there. It's blank. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
Like, he's just seeing everything.
Yeah, I would definitely think I'm losing my mind at that point, because when it came to the red walls on his paint, that was actually real.
But then, this is not.
Yeah, so I wouldn't know what to think anymore. And then Lucas ends up finding Whitey parked at the river court, saying that, asking if he's doing a little scouting. That's when Whitey tells Lucas he's putting skills on the team. And Lucas is happy about this, of course, and he asks Whitey what made him change his mind.
I liked when he said that not too long ago there was a funny kid. It was funny.
Yeah, on the same court. Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked when Lucas and Whitey at that moment, like, they kind of like shake hands kind of thing, like at that moment. But then like when he goes to Skills and tells him, it was so cute. Yeah. Because they're both so happy.
And then at Rachel's, she's still looking through Brooke's still looking through her book. And I'm kind of surprised. I'm wondering if Brooke put the whole thing together herself, because I can't even see Victoria putting like the baby stuff in there to begin with.
I see her doing the baby, but then when Brooke started to talk, maybe she was like, eh.
Yeah.
Or maybe she had the nanny do it.
Because doesn't Victoria later say she didn't really even want the kid, like want a kid or something? Yeah. That maybe that would.
Yeah, so maybe the nanny did it.
Yeah, keep her the Mr. Davis or whatever.
I'm sure they had a nanny.
Yeah.
And she probably did it.
Yeah.
But oh my god, so like this is Brooke's whole baby book and stuff. Like the fact that she's putting a picture of Lucas and Peyton in it.
Yeah. And it's that picture of them walking. So when did she even take a picture of them?
I don't know, because I was like,
and that's just like more stalking. Like everybody's stalking in this episode.
Well, I never saw her take a picture. I never saw her put her camera down or a phone. Like clearly it was a camera. And I'm like, she never saw it. So it's kind of weird, yeah. And of course, Then Rachel comes in, huh?
Right. Wasn't that later? Because it goes to Peyton.
It's all back up.
Yeah. Because I put next, Peyton starts walking towards her front door. And
this is weird because like it's Derek.
Yeah.
Psycho Derek. And okay, so I thought this was weird because like, he says like, oh, he's Derek and stuff. And I'm like, my whole thing is I remember in my head, I remember Peyton meeting Derek for the first time in the coffee shop, and Lucas is there as protection in case it went bad. Why is she meeting? Like, how is this their first interaction? If this is their first interaction, why does Lucas need to be at the cafe when they're meeting for the first time? This made no sense.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you? They already met. He could have killed her here. Yeah. What does Lucas need to go meet up at the cafe for when they've already just met? So basically that scene means nothing then.
Right.
In the future. Because he meets... Remember how she was like, oh, like, are you Derek? Like, in the coffee shop, remember? She kind of, like, asks him, like...
I don't know.
Like, I just feel like that's, like, in my head of, like, oh, you're Peyton, you're Derek. But clearly, she's just met him here on her doorstep.
Yeah, I don't know.
It makes no sense.
But we see Lucas narrating again and talk about giving someone a second chance, and then that's when we see Karen sitting at the crib. A damn fix for her.
Yeah, she's thinking of a second chance with them. Ew.
And then we see Lucas typing on his laptop again, adding something beyond the quiet persistence of a dream. He's getting more, like, poetic there. But then we see, they use the shape of his lamp to segue to it being similar to the shape of the cupcake that Rachel gives Brooke with a candle on it. Which, for me, wouldn't make up for her ditching her for those guys earlier, but... You know, she tells her happy birthday.
I guess because she's the only one that said happy birthday and did something for him.
And then Brooke points out that Rachel said not to wait up, and she says, you know, call this late, and Rachel simply says that she wasn't into it. And
so when she said that, you know, like the boys in Tree Hill are so boring compared to Cooper, and then Brooke said, is there anyone our age like you could actually fall for? She said maybe looking at a picture of Nathan.
Yeah, Brooke's camera from the wedding. Yeah. Because, like, he was with Haley in that shot.
Yeah.
Before she, like,
it was their wedding. Yeah. It was their wedding photo, and she zoomed in on his face.
That's even worse. Yeah. And then we see Nathan still at the bridge where the tape and cones are still there as well, but Haley figures out that he's there because he left his basketball at home, so she knew that he wasn't at the river court.
Yeah, he lied.
Yep. And he tells her that he was hoping that she would know where he was, and she stands with him, telling him that she needs him to talk to him. And he says he's not trying to shut her out, he just doesn't understand enough to let her in yet. So I did like Nathan voicing his intentions, like not keeping her out, because, you know, most guys would just shut down and not say a single word. So
but it kind of was.
I mean, yeah, but
he's
he was
not
like
letting her in for anything.
I mean, but he's like processing what's going on. Sometimes that takes a lot of time.
No, because like soon he's going to be processing it with Rachel and leaving Haley out. So I don't agree.
It's like he's like gathering information, like to figure out what's going on.
But little by little, he should be telling her, and he's not.
Yeah, so. I don't know. Like he needs to see the full picture. It seems like first.
And then she said that whatever it is, they're going to get through it together.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did like Haley being patient with him and like letting him deal with his trauma, giving him his time and space to process it. And like she said, you know, she's right there. She's reminding him that she's okay too if he was thinking about that dream again that he had. But did he end up even telling her about that dream? That's what I took it as. Like,
I don't remember.
Yeah, so I don't know.
There's been so many flashbacks. I don't even know.
Yeah, so because she tells him she's not going anywhere. That's why I thought maybe that's when he told her about the dream that he had of her drowning. So,
I mean, I know he was worried on the wedding day.
Yeah, but he told Lucas the dream, but not Haley. So
yeah.
Maybe he told her we just didn't see it again. That kind of situation, I guess. But Lucas narrates again, saying it's only when you're tested that you truly discover who you are. And Brooke picks up the mug that she had at the club for her drink earlier to see the bottom, with the writing saying, "To my most posh best friend, love always, Peyton."
Kind of weird.
Yeah, so that was a gift from her. And, you know, I guess they were showing that it means something, like, to Brooke still. Like, she didn't throw away the mug. She didn't break it. Yeah. So she still cares about their friendship possibly here, if she's keeping it. And then Lucas narrates, it's only when you're tested that...
Well, and it also showed in the episode because when it was closing time at the mall, she did show up.
Yeah.
So she could have totally ditched that whole idea, but she showed up anyway. and saw those two walking out.
Yeah.
So maybe because it was also a sign of like it was also a sign of like she almost went in there.
Yeah. No, she still cared.
Yeah.
So then Rachel tells Brooke she's sorry about her birthday. Then asks if there's if anything memorable happened, and Brooke says there was one thing, and we can talk about seeing Payne and Lucas together, but then Lucas says the person you want to be does exist somewhere on the other side of hard work and faith and belief. Just then Brooke adds a new picture to her book. Yeah, the very
picture, yeah. So the end.
Then Lucas says beyond heartache and fear of what lies ahead, and Brooke then blows up the candle on the cupcake.
Yeah. What do you think she wished for?
I don't really know. For maybe not to get Lucas back, but maybe just for him and Peyton not to be together, maybe. I don't know.
It's kind of, I didn't really what she wished for.
Yeah, like if Lucas doesn't love Brooke, then Peyton shouldn't have him either. Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah. So for me, the high was Rachel taking Brooke out for her birthday because nobody else was. Mm-hmm. Nobody. Haley? Yeah. Haley saw her that day and never wished her happy birthday. They're supposed to be friends. Yeah. Nobody wished the girl happy birthday but Rachel. Yeah. So I would say Rachel taking her out because that's the only one that actually cared for her. Yeah. And even though she was partially doing it herself. Mm-hmm. But that's the only way Rachel knows how. Yeah. And the low was Brooke seeing them walking out because she still somewhat cares. Yeah. And, it's her birthday. And but also, she broke up with them. I mean, they would probably be celebrating it with her, but she broke up with them and broke up with her friend, too. So that's kind of what you get, I guess. Also, I think the moment, too, for the high was when Lucas told Skills he's on the team because I don't understand how he's going to be getting a scholarship, but it was a cute moment.
I guess I just liked Peyton trying to help Lucas get Brooke back, even though it didn't make sense plot-wise or anything, but still she was, putting her feelings aside, even though she was no longer friends with Brooke at this point, and still trying to, like I said, help Lucas get her back. And then, the low was to see, I don't know, I didn't like how Nathan's still struggling with this and trying to get answers from
and I didn't like Cooper lying to the detective. I didn't like Peyton exposing Derek, a private person. Yeah. There's a lot of lows I didn't like.
So then rating?
6. Yeah, there's a lot of lows. I did not like it.
Yeah. And then best and worst?
The best. The best. I guess Peyton would be the best because she was trying to help Lucas win Brooke back, even though I think it was a stupid idea. So I guess that. But the worst, definitely the worst is going to be Ms. Deb because she almost could have killed somebody. So, and she could have probably got Karen her license taken away for the coffee shop. Yeah. Because think about it. If people know that someone that worked there shot the place up, people will not go back. Right. And all that lady has to do is also say, I waited 15 minutes and nobody would help me. And people won't go there. So, and because it's a small cafe, she needs the business. So, yeah. And also, where was Karen that day? She should have been working. So, as she works every day. So, Deb was definitely the worst. What about you?
I put Haley as the best just because she was dealing with basically the cafe by herself because Deb was high and not thinking clearly and having that gun and almost killing somebody. And if, even if in real life, if this would have happened, then Deb would have been probably arrested. And then
why didn't the police talk to Karen? I don't know. Karen was never notified by the police that her business
because
that this happened.
Yeah, one of the customers could have easily went to the police about this.
Well, you would think that the police would have. It's a business. Yeah. That a gun was shut off in.
Yeah, I'm just saying they would have been notified either way.
Yeah, and then they would have had to call Karen because she owns it.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense either that Haley had to tell her. And then even then, the police never questioned Karen for anything. Like, did you know your business partner did that? Like, owned a gun or anything?
Yeah.
And they never checked to see if it was registered. Thing.
Yeah, and word would get around from the customers that were there and other people that, would know, and then nobody would want to go in there thinking that they may get shot. So
I mean, it could have ruined her business. So that's why she's the worst.
Yeah, so I liked Haley for, having to deal with that, Deb, and then, what was the other? Oh, and then being patient with Nathan while he is trying to process his trauma. And I did put Peyton as a close second, but Haley was the first choice.
And and she also helped Brooke through her non-pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah, help Brooke, help her. Basically help each other in a weird way with this. But, then the worst for me was Deb, too, for the gun.
Yeah.
And being high, too, because she was high as well. So that would make her even more unqualified. Because being paranoid by Dan is one thing, but, like, when you're high and paranoid, that's, like, way bad.
Then you throw a gun in there?
Yeah.
And it's loaded and everything?
Yep.
Safety lock's not on it?
Nope.
What's next episode?
Episode 3, good news for people who love bad news.
So no more good news?
Yeah. I mean, it's all been bad news at this point, so it makes sense. There'll be more.
Season 4 is not coming into, like, happiness yet.
Yep.
It's all, like, downhill so far. All right. Thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would appreciate it.